All right, YouTube. What's going on? It's your girl Aniya A, and I'm live, and I'm a little bit earlier than usual tonight, and that's because we're like shutting down earlier on the live component on Facebook. Excuse me. OMG. Oh my God, it's been such a long day. So anyway, I just wanted to come on live because you guys know how I do. I like to share my afterthoughts after hours with you because a lot of you don't make it onto Facebook me or on Instagram. And we have three different pages on Instagram on Aniya A143, FEGMGMT, and of course NVSANYC. And those three you can find on Instagram for sure. But then on Facebook, you can also find us on Aniya A, period, right? So tonight's topic was very interesting indeed, because we most definitely talked about quite a few things that were happening in the world, but also we wanted to really dig deep into, the whole component of, mental health, physical health, emotional health, financial health, and of course, spiritual health. Those components are super important during these times. And it's kind of like checking in on you guys because we don't talk enough about these topics in our communities. Hold on one second. Let me do my little write up on Facebook. After hours slash thoughts with your girl Aniya A on YouTube for sure. Not YouTuber, YouTube. Okay. All right. So real quick. So as I was saying, right, we don't talk enough about these topics when it comes to mental health, when it comes to physical health, etc. That's why we oftentimes, see such a high number or like a surge in deaths during times like this, like the COVID, like Corona-19. Oh my God, COVID-19 or the coronavirus pandemic, right? I just kind of switched that up real quick. And why do we see such a high number of death rates or like mortality during these times? It's because typically we as a community are not taking care of ourselves enough when we have the opportunity. And we can also blame it on financial factors like, healthcare and insurance, but we also have the opportunity and the abilities to listen to our bodies. I was sharing this live earlier that our bodies speak with us. Don't think that sounds weird or anything like that, because it definitely is not weird. It's true. When you're missing a certain nutrient in your body, or when you're deficient in certain things in your body will do certain things to make you aware. I'm not going to go into the whole thing tonight. Maybe one night I will definitely go into detail of, some of the ways that our body, speaks to us, and some of the ways we can know when our bodies are lacking certain nutrients, vitamins, and things of that nature. But tonight is not the night, because I have more work that I'm trying to accomplish tonight, and it's been a super long day. But the good thing about today was that I got to exercise a whole lot, and I got to be out and get a lot of vitamin D. So if I look maybe a little browner or a little tanned, it's because I have been in the sun a lot these past few days, with the exception of yesterday, because I had to get out of the sun because I also have an issue with heat. However, I have a little bit of a tan and some color because I've been walking and exercising, and I feel really good. Because one of the things that we have to know, especially for you Black folks out there, you Caribbean people, you island people, you African people, anybody that's melanated, listen to me very carefully. We need something called vitamin D in our bodies. Vitamin D comes from milk, but it also comes from the sunlight. And if you didn't know, now you know. And one of the things that happens, especially during the winter time or times like the pandemic, for example, when you're inside the house a whole lot, you are not receiving a whole lot of vitamin D, which is from the sunlight, because you are indoors. So my best example and my best advice to you all is, and I don't have a mask with me that I usually go out with because it's on the other side of the table real quick. But either way, put on your mask and go out for a walk so that you can receive those natural vitamin D sun rays onto your body, in your scalp. As you guys can see, I'm doing a whole nother natural hair thing tonight. And I've been on this natural hair journey for years, but I've always keeping it hidden. I've always kept it hidden because it's just too hard to do my natural hair. But I just did a little thing with these curly curl rod things, and I'm super proud of myself because at the end of the day, I had no idea what the outcome was going to be because I was supposed to take out the curls and fluff my hair out and do different things to it. But when I took out the curl rods, it just went like this. It just like kind of retreated back. And all of this is my hair. If you guys don't know, I have a lot of hair, but whatever. The bottom line is this: when it just did that thing and just remained in its place, that was everything for me. Aniya A fell in love, and I got so many compliments today. And I know I'm an engaged woman. I'm, basically married or whatever. But when you have so many people hitting on you and you don't have a wig on, it's kind of weird. Like, I'm accustomed to men telling me, I'm cute and blah, blah, blah and stuff. But it's so weird because today, I did my hair like this. And of course, this little black thing that I'm rocking on my head right now, it's supposed to look like a little style, but I had it back and it was like, kind of like cute or whatever. And it was like kind of stringed off on the side. But I also had my mask on with a couple of strings back here. And then I also had this gadget, which is my ear device thing. So I just felt like today was just like a normal day for me, but apparently not. Apparently every like man in Harlem, and yeah, mostly in Harlem, were like trying to holler. And I was like, what? And then my mom was like, your hair is gorgeous. And then I got other compliments from like people that I knew when I went to my appointment, and everybody loved my hair. So I say that to say there's a new thing happening with Aniya here. And let me also say this, like in life, we tend to not believe that we're super gorgeous or what have you, because the status quo of beauty is not typically these little curly things and the shortness of my hair right now. Typically, the status quo is like long hair don't curl. You already know. And especially when it comes to Black women, we have a lot of issues with hair because, it's like an identity thing, right? And a lot of us go through like this thing about our hair. And growing up, I don't know if I've told you the story on YouTube, but I've definitely said it on Facebook and Instagram. I got my first perm at 7 years old because I've always had a whole lot of thick, curly, massy, fluffy hair, I like to call it. And my mother never knew how to do my texture of hair because her texture of hair happened to be pinched straight because she's half white, French white, and she's also half Haitian. So she got her white French father's side of the hair thing. And my father, on the other hand, had hair this big, like an afro at one point, and he's mixed too, but he's like, I think like Cuban and Haitian and stuff. And, his hair was super curly and thick. And so I got the super curly and thick hair. So all my life, since like maybe even earlier than 7, but I remember 7 being like that key number, I would get perms. And then sometimes I had so much hair growth and so much thickness that I would have to use 2 different perm boxes. I know that sounds cray, but I had a whole lot of hair, but my hair never it did grow long, but it predominantly grew wide. So I had the wide hair situation. And when you permed it, it got long, obviously down my back and things of that nature. But I say all that to say that tonight's topic on health and maintaining, yourself and different things like that stemmed from, I guess, going out today and feeling super great, irregardless of what I was dealing with. And if you go back on Facebook and Instagram, I really talk on and touch some really serious issues that I've dealt with and I'm dealing with presently. And one of the reasons why I have the topics that I do is because they stem from either personal circumstances, as in what I'm dealing with, with my father and his family presently, and the hurt that I'm feeling, because it's not easy when you're in the public eye, when you're constantly trying to be an achiever because you're trying to get others' attention, i.e., parents that really never showed you affection in the way a child should probably receive affection. And let me say this for those that are watching and may watch this after. Some people may look at my situation and say, why are you even, saying anything about your father? At least your father was in your life. Granted, I get it. But there's a thing when you're accustomed to one way of living life and doing things, and then that being stripped away from you, and you having to reposition yourself and learning another way to deal with things. Of course, I'm grateful. And let me say this on my after hours segment, right? I'm grateful that I have my father in my life. I'm grateful that God allowed me to be blessed in such a way. And I did talk about that on the show earlier. However, I wish things were different, because it's not my fault that certain people and circumstances are dealing with life's tragedies. And I should not be the one that has to pay for other people's issues. And that's all I'm saying. Is it selfish for me to think that way? I mean, the grass is greener on the other side because the grass is fertilized differently. In other words, some people may think that what I'm sharing tonight as content may be a little selfish, but that's your prerogative because you're not walking in my shoes. But why I also share the stories that I share or go into the topics that I go into is not just because I want to release and I want to have an outlet, but I also want others to understand that you can be going through things, and you will go through things because life throws curveballs every day. But you have to make up in your mind how you're going to respond. And because I'm not getting the response that I need in order for me to be as effective and as happy or secure as I should be at this moment, I'm verbalizing it because I can't let this situation bring me down, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to you, that's fine too, because to each his own. Either way, I talked about mental health, physical health, spiritual health, financial health, and of course, emotional health tonight, because we are living in a time where people are literally bottling up their feelings and they're not releasing what's inside. I can't do that. I've learned that when you hold things back and when you hide the truth, you become really physically ill. I've been hospitalized many a times with many rare medical circumstances, and I think it's because of all the hurt and the pain I've felt, and that I never released them, and they just kind of been hidden inside. Enough is enough. I have to release it because it's not going to kill me. So with that being said, tonight we talked on several different subjects. We touched many different topics, and I hope and my desire is to see people heal. And of course, that healing starts with me, because what good is it if I can get on these platforms and if I can share so many great interviews and talk to the people about so many different topics, and inside I'm hurting and I don't have relationships that are progressive or amazing and wonderful? What good am I if I'm not living my own truth? So tonight I wanted to share those things with you all because number one, I'm human. Number two, I am in the public eye. Number three, I choose to live this life. And so if I choose it every day, why not be honest? With that being said, and with this newfound desire to play with my natural hair and just be, I don't know, receptive to different things happening every day with this hair, also comes the joy of releasing my truth and opening up a different type of reality so that others can experience healing as I too heal. Because again, what happens when the person that loves the most or gives the most is hurting the most? That's a problem. So with that being said, go back, watch the Aniya A show on Aniya A period on Facebook. But on Instagram, you can always find us on ANIYA143 FEGMGMT and NVSANYC so that you can heal as I do too. Have a super great night, guys, and tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m., excuse me, at the same black time and at the same black space. It's your girl, Aniya A. And remember, love yourself because it's worth it. Trust me.